Every flight, you sit beside one. You lean on it, look through it, and trust it without thinking. It's thick, small, and always rounded at the edges. But why are airplane windows shaped this way? Why not make them larger, sharper, or perfectly square like the windows in a house? The answer comes from one of the most important lessons in aviation history, a lesson learned the hard way. Today, we're looking at why airplane windows are round and how that simple shape helps keep millions of passengers safe. In the early days of air travel, aircraft design was still evolving. Engineers were building faster planes that could fly higher than ever before. One of the most advanced was the de Havilland Comet. Introduced in the 1950s, it was the world's first commercial jet airliner. Compared to older propeller planes, it was faster, smoother, and far more modern. Passengers saw it as the future of travel. But flying high created a new challenge. At cruising altitude, the air outside the plane is extremely thin. There isn't enough oxygen or pressure for passengers to breathe normally, so the cabin must be pressurized. That means the inside of the airplane is kept at a much higher pressure than the outside air. Imagine blowing up a balloon. The air inside pushes outward against the surface. An airplane experiences something similar on every flight. As it climbs, pressure builds inside the cabin. As it lands, that pressure is reduced again. This cycle repeats over and over for the life of the aircraft. Then came disaster. In 1954, multiple Comet aircraft broke apart in mid-air. The accidents shocked the world. These planes were modern, respected, and relatively new. Investigators needed to know what went wrong. To find the answer, engineers performed one of the most famous failure investigations in aviation. They placed an entire fuselage inside a large water tank and repeatedly simulated flight pressure cycles. They were searching for the hidden weakness. Eventually, they found it. The problem was not the engines, it was not the wings, it was the corners of the windows. The Comet used square-shaped windows with sharper edges. That shape created something called stress concentration. When pressure pushes against the aircraft body, force spreads across the metal skin. But near sharp corners, that force gathers into smaller areas. Those points carry much more stress than the surrounding structure. Over time, repeated pressurization caused tiny cracks to begin at those corners. The cracks were small, often invisible at first, but each flight made them grow a little more. This process is known as metal fatigue. Eventually, the cracks became large enough for the structure to fail. Once that happened at high altitude, the cabin could no longer hold pressure. The result was sudden decompression and catastrophic breakup. The solution was surprisingly simple: round the windows. A rounded shape allows stress to flow smoothly around the opening. There are no sharp corners where pressure can build up. The load spreads more evenly through the structure. That makes cracks far less likely to begin. From that point forward, aircraft windows were redesigned with rounded corners. It became a standard across the aviation industry. So every time you look out an airplane window today, you're seeing more than a view. You're seeing a design shaped by experience, engineering, and hard-earned lessons. Because sometimes the smallest detail on a machine can make the biggest difference.